Have you ever thought of what your legacy is going to be like? Then this video is for you because I'm going to show you the fastest way to leave behind your legacy. Hey, this is Jyotsna Ramachandran here, the founder and CEO of Happy Self Publishing. In this episode, let us explore a little bit about this concept of leaving behind a legacy. Now, if you are like me, then at some point of time you must have thought about what your legacy is going to be like, right? So why do most human beings have this inherent urge to leave something behind after we go away? That's mainly because we understand that human life is not permanent. Nothing is permanent, right? And once we leave this planet, then everything is gone. And because of that fear of losing everything, probably because of that, we all feel that we need to leave something behind while we leave this planet. I think once somebody understands the very temporary nature of human life, we realize that we're not going to be on this planet for long, and after we go away, we want people to remember us. We want to leave behind some trace of our life that can be relevant to generations that come after us, right? I think that is where the need to leave behind a legacy stems from. Now let us look at some of the common ways that people resort to in order to leave behind a legacy. You know what is the most common way? I know you will laugh if I tell this. It is to have kids. The main reason why we have this need to procreate is so that we can leave behind a trace of our DNA on this planet. So maybe one of the very subconscious reasons of having kids is to leave behind our legacy, because somewhere you're able to see that your kid looks like you, behaves like you, has some skills that is very similar to yours. And that's why we feel that by continuing our bloodline, we're actually leaving behind our legacy. So that's one of the ways to have kids. The other way that I see a lot of very successful people leave behind their legacy is to create organizations, to start companies that have such a big impact on this planet that long after the founder of that company is gone, that company continues to serve millions of people around the world. One example that quickly comes to my mind is Apple. After Steve Jobs passed away, the company did not die. The company continues to grow year on year, impacting humanity in such a big way. So though the founder is not with us anymore, the legacy that he has left behind is his organization, it's his company, it's all the team and the systems and the brand that he has created, which continues to live long after he is gone. Now there are also a lot of people who are very charitable. They are so philanthropic that they want to leave behind a good cause after they are gone, like Mother Teresa, like so many of these generous people who have walked on this planet, whose work speaks for itself, and they've kind of created a non-profit organization that believes in giving back. And I think that is such a fantastic way to leave behind your legacy, because while you're alive, you do such amazing things selflessly for other people, but you create this trust or a foundation which continues to do the great work after you're gone. That's another wonderful way to leave behind your legacy. Have you also thought about artists? Artists could be singers, could be actors, could be painters, sculptors. Anybody who's creating a piece of art is also leaving behind their legacy, because their art will continue to stay long after they are gone. Today when I see these black and white films, that actor would have died 50 years ago, but we still remember them, we still enjoy their performance because they have left behind their legacy in the form of their work, which is art. So these are some of the common ways that I see people leaving behind their legacies, whether it is to have kids, whether it is to found great companies, it could be starting charitable foundations, or it could be leaving behind your pieces of art. Now all these things take a lot of time and effort. It could take years to actually build something that is so valuable that it can live much after you are gone, right? But today I'm going to tell you one of the fastest ways to leave behind your legacy, and that is to write a book. Yes, because by writing a book, what you're essentially doing is you're collecting all the knowledge that you have, the wonderful stories, the messages that you want to share with the world, and you're probably taking anywhere between 3 months to 6 months to put a book together and publish it and make it available to anyone in this world to read and learn from you. And by doing that, you are actually leaving behind your legacy, because there is a very high probability that people will continue reading your book even after you are gone. If your book is packed with value, if it is touching the lives of people, then they will have the urge to share it with their friends and their families, and thereby your message will never die. It will remain in the form of your book, and it will continue impacting thousands of people, if not millions, when they read your book. If you love reading self-help books, then I'm sure you wouldn't have missed Think and Grow Rich. Now that book actually became famous after the author Napoleon Hill passed away. So only after his demise, the book really became famous, and now millions and millions of people continue reading that book, and every time somebody reads the book, they obviously feel that gratitude towards the author. And that, I think, is a true example of a legacy. And in my opinion, writing a book is far easier than starting an organization or even raising kids, right? So if you are thinking that, well, I'm not too old to think about leaving my legacy, then let's face the reality of today. Today, the times are so uncertain that anything can happen to anyone, right? So we cannot wait until we become too old, until we cross our 70s and 80s to think about our legacy. If you're already doing something well in your life, in any area of your life, not necessarily your career, maybe your health is phenomenal, maybe your relationships are great, maybe you're just great at the hobby that you're pursuing, and that can be something of real value to a lot of people who want to reach the position that you already have. So it becomes your moral responsibility, it's your obligation to make the world a better place by sharing what you know. And I think a book can do a great job at that. Now that I've planted the seed of writing a book in your mind, you may now be thinking, do I really have it in me to become a successful author? Then I suggest you to check out my other video called The 5 Attributes of Successful Authors. Please do check that video out and see if you have those 5 attributes or what you need to do to develop those attributes in order to become a successful author. So don't think too much, just grab your pen and paper or just open your Word doc and start writing your book. If you found this video useful, or maybe if it has just triggered that idea of leaving a legacy behind in you, then please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also subscribe to our podcast. I would love to know what are your thoughts on leaving behind a legacy. Please do comment right below this so that I can read your comments and learn something from you. So until we meet in the next episode, happy authoring!